Roblox is now separating the game into 3 groups. Roblox Kids for under 9 and ages 5 through 8, Roblox Select for 9 to 15-year-olds, and Roblox, the original, for 16-year-olds or older. This update is done to prevent predators, and yet since the younger versions of Roblox don't require age verification due to the legality of collecting the IDs and information of children, all this does is group up age groups for predators like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I wonder what I want to do today. Do I want a 9-year-old or do I want a 16-year-old? So much to choose from. This is a terrible idea, and somehow Roblox hasn't seen that. Not like Roblox actually cares about that stuff though, given their history of poor moderation and negligence over predatory situations. But along with this, it also means unverified users, which obviously predators don't want to send their IDs to Roblox, will be automatically put in servers with children. And although they can't talk to children directly, many games feature things like signs and other alternative ways to get through Roblox chat censorship. Great. Roblox, despite originally being a platform in which the major appeal was that anyone could make a game, is now limiting game creation to those with Roblox Premium, completely going against what made the platform unique other than free server hosting and user-funded advertising. But this is just more corporate commercialization done on behalf of Roblox to the platform, intended to make them more money while making the player experience worse. I also almost forgot to mention, but this is just another way for corporate Roblox to strip even more money from developers while they're already underpaid percentage-wise given the contributions that they make to the platform. Speaking of commercialization, ticks were removed about 10 years and 3 days ago from when you guys will probably be seeing this video. The first of many updates meant to maximize Roblox profits by removing the free currency ticks, which you could earn by just playing the game and use to get free cosmetics and game passes. Along with that, any items purchasable with ticks back then are now archived and unobtainable if you didn't have them previously. Alright, so while editing, I found out that Roblox has actually been making many of the ticks-only accessories limiteds. While seemingly nice, it is actually quite the deviously greedy move to make them limiteds, because the limited market means prices can go up, and these accessories worth less than 1 Robux, which were earnable for free, are now upwards of $10 and probably higher than that from what I've seen. The Roblox Dynamic Heads update, which was meant to modernize Roblox faces by making them animated, is both ugly and also crashed the value of many Roblox faces, like the super happy face, which dropped over 100,000 Robux in price after the update. Not like I particularly care, but I'm sure that this is definitely devastating to hundreds, potentially thousands of people. And seeing how this update is here to stay, similarly to the Counter-Strike Gold Trade-Ups update, those values are not going to bounce back to their originals ever. Roblox data collection policies are now going to require you to submit ID and face verifications for publishing games, using chat and voice chat, playing certain games and horror games, and managing parental controls. By the way, over 10,000 developers had their information leaked by a data breach about a year ago by Roblox, who apparently only temporarily store data used for identification. The same thing happened with Discord less than a year ago. Roblox renaming games to experiences and friends to connections as a way to make the platform seem more modern, while in reality this is just rebranding for commercialization's sake, and is a lesser part of the various updates aimed at making corporate Roblox more money at the cost of user experiences. These may not seem important individually, but what they mean for the platform is very important. Surprisingly though, they did roll back connections back to friends, so maybe they'll do some other stuff and bring us back to a better age of Roblox in the next coming months or years. Why the fuck does the Roblox CEO's character look like this? It's so ugly, and I really hope it doesn't show a shift for Roblox character design in the future. But I'm sure that we should be safe as long as UGC stays the way it is, because people like making funny stuff. Speaking of UGC, making UGC limiteds was probably a terrible idea, as it now allows users to both manipulate markets on their own cosmetics, as well as make gatekeepable cosmetics that look like actual cosmetics in the game, like the people who make themselves fake dominuses. Roblox heavily incentivizes player retention and spending, meaning every game on the platform has become unoriginal simulators plagued with microtransactions and artificial progression made to incentivize you to spend money, which is why most of these games go on for basically infinity. Along with that, mobile game UIs are often flooded with microtransaction buttons that glow and target children with funny sound effects to get kids to spend Robux on stupid games made in hours, with thousands of Robux of advertising behind them just to siphon the pockets of their parents. Meanwhile, projects that are actually good often have waning player counts, as developers spend more time working on a project they think is good than a project that prioritizes the Roblox algorithm and benefits Roblox the most by making them the most money. Roblox mobile games are also particularly predatory, with most games that have both PC or console and mobile support having much more crowded UIs on the mobile versions, and microtransaction pop-ups specifically targeting mobile players meant to trigger immediate dopamine releases, so kids are more likely to spend their parents' money on them because it's fun. These games also know that most of the people playing on mobile are kids because they're less likely to have access to a computer as opposed opposed to an iPad. RNG games like Souls RNG are not only garbage and way too popular despite the clear lack of effort or passion behind them, but are also getting children into gambling, potentially causing low-level gambling addictions in children as young as 6 years old. These games are also allowed on the platform and monetized with game passes like Better Luck or Faster Spins, or even having spin cooldowns in the games which you have to pay to get past, despite the fact that Roblox has anti-gambling rules and these are just virtual slot machines. And while yes, the TOS strictly prohibits it from being items of value or Robux, I think that this is potentially just as bad as if they were doing it for items of value or Robux, maybe even worse because there's no restriction here. Not all kids have Robux to gamble with. Most kids probably don't have very much, so they wouldn't be able to do this for very long. But because these RNG games are free, you've got kids sitting behind a screen for hours a day trying to get the 1 in a billion drop rates from these games. But the Roblox algorithm actually loves these games because they have high user retention and high spending analytics. Roblox changed games from square to rectangular thumbnails, effectively costing Roblox developers thousands because now they have to get redone art for the new aspect ratios of Roblox thumbnails that will be used in the future. 17 or 18 plus games make Roblox less of a game platform and more of an online dating platform, which goes into the CEO's idea from last year about making Roblox a dating site for those verified at the ages of 21 years or older. He wanted to merge Roblox, a primarily kid-targeting game platform, with an online dating site for people over 21. Great idea, David. Roblox also very poorly moderates UGC, and sometimes it feels like they're purposely trying to make Roblox avatars more sexually appealing to appeal to the online dating side of things, allowing certain things on the Roblox catalog to make avatars like this. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they allow it on purpose, seeing as how David wants to make it a little dating site soon. That little freak. Roblox developer exchange cuts are still $0.0038, or about 4/10 of a cent per Robux. Robux? I don't know. For reference, Roblox charges about 1 cent per Robux, meaning they are taking 60% of developer profits on average. At least it's not the old rate of $0.0035 per Robux. But that does mean that for every 30,000 Robux, which costs about $300, developers will be getting $114. Not the absolute worst bare minimum possible, but you gotta keep in mind taxes. Roblox immediately takes 30% of all Robux spent and voids them as a tax on developers. Then you have real-life taxes on the money gained through developer exchange via federal income tax, self-employment tax, state tax depending on where you live, or even city tax if you live in a major city. For reference, I live in New York, and if I made a game which sold 100,000 Robux worth of game passes, I earn 70,000 Robux initially. I then convert that into US dollars at the current developer exchange rates for $266. I'll then use the United States federal tax average, since it's more fair than using my actual tax bracket and is more representative of the average person or Roblox developer, at 14.48% federal tax, 15.3% self-employment tax. Bullshit rule, self-employment tax is stupid, but you get the point. And 6% state tax and 4% city tax. That brings out a grand total to $161 earned post-tax on Roblox, who earned $1,000 pre-corporate tax for some Robux spent on your game. That was a long point, but you get it. Roblox is earning $1,000 for every $161 that I would make, or the average developer living in, for example, New York would make. Of course, not everyone lives in New York, but the point being, they're making way more money than you off your effort. Steal a Brain Rot is being made into a movie. So is Grow a Garden. Roblox is now allowing users to rent cosmetics, with an update currently in testing in which you pay smaller amounts of Robux to use an item for a day or week limit. That is insane, seeing as how permanent ownership is, you know, infinite. It's also extremely redundant when you realize Roblox has a feature that already lets you try on cosmetics, and there's lots of games that let you try on cosmetics. So why would you rent something to see how it looks when you could literally just press the little button that lets you try it on your character and see how it looks? Unless they plan on removing that feature just to add renting to the game, in which case, Roblox, we're gonna have some big problems. The Roblox slogan hasn't been powering imagination since 2022. Makes sense given the state of commercialized modern Roblox, but they discreetly changed it to reimagining the way people come together, which is not only less catchy and a worse slogan, but yes, bringing people together with extensive user identification and biometric data that's been breached twice. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If I missed anything, leave it down in the comments section down below, and maybe I'll even make a part 2 using your suggestions in the comments. I read every comment, so I promise I'll see it. Anyway, new song cover next week for all of my YouTube members of any tier, and shoutouts to YouTube members of tier 2 or higher: Green, Philip, Delusional Mo, Broccoli, Akio Sugikuni, Burger, Fun Guns, Xerxes, and Drizzy Drake Fan. I love you all, have an amazing day as usual, and goodbye.